Hello everyone, my name is Caleb and welcome to the Unfiltered podcast. In this series, I'll be sitting down with some of the most inspiring young leaders. I'll be interviewing the behind the scenes of these successful advisors. If you're someone who's curious to understand what goes behind the scenes for these successful advisors, or if you're someone looking for a potential career switch, this series is for you. Let's dive in. Hello everyone, in today's episode, I especially invited Mian, who started out as a student advisor 5 years ago. Over the years, she has worked with hundreds of individuals in crafting their financial plans and earned multiple MDRT achievements. She's now leading a team, guiding them as they build their careers. Mian is also passionate about helping others achieve financial clarity while nurturing the next generation of advisors. Welcome to the podcast, Mian.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You know, Mian, the audience will be very curious to understand maybe how was life like for you before financial advisory?
Wow. That would be like 27 years. There's a lot of things to talk about, but maybe I highlight on my journey in Mian Poly. I mean, that's why we met, right?
Yeah.
So, I think Mian itself, that 3 years shaped me quite a bit. Yeah, at the start, it was a bit of like, oh, who am I as an individual? Going through a lot of camps, taking up leadership positions and all. But I think one memorable key event would be year 3, one of the volunteering with YEP in Cambodia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What
so...
Cambodia was that? Can't
remember.
Somewhere in Cambodia.
Yeah, but that trip was very random because usually people go for volunteering YEP in year 1 or year 2 in hopes to gain experience. Then maybe year 3 just focus on just graduating. Yeah, but my group of friends were thinking, hey, since this trip is more or less like sponsored with our, I think one of the PSA funds or something like that. Then we were like, hey, let's just go for it. Right, thinking that we're just gonna bond together and all. But I think that trip itself made me realize a lot of things because prior to this trip, I didn't really have a lot of exposure outside of this little bubble. Yeah, only during the trip itself, I realized, oh damn, like I'm in a bubble. So what do I mean by that? In Singapore, I realized a lot of things in my personal life, humble opinion, is a lot of things are it's already tailored, it's already shaped, education-wise and all. So when during that trip itself, though it was just a short trip, it might not be very impactful in a way. Like it will not change your life like drastically. Which but that few days itself, that 1 week itself, actually in turn made me realize a lot of things about myself.
Yeah, maybe Mian, can you help us visualize how was it like? How long was that trip and what do you actually do in that trip?
Okay. The trip itself was about 2 weeks long, but we had about a month to prepare. We had to think of certain education, certain programs for the kids. Like, so the kids range, I think they were in primary school. Yeah. So in that 2 weeks, we actually helped to clean up the school, helped to paint the outside of the school. I remember dusting the classroom, playing with the kids. They were using slippers to play volleyball. Yeah.
Slippers to play volleyball.
Yeah. So literally kicking the slippers, to kicking and then hitting. So it's just very random. So this trip was in 2018, 2019. So it's quite a while back. Yeah, but it made me realize in that moment I was like, hey, the kids so contented. Yeah, like their net, right, is just literally a string across. Literally like a string. So I was like, then they were just like, oh my gosh, like they're so happy. Then they had like those food trucks that came, then they had snacks, so we had some money and bought some tidbits for the kids. So the moment it made me realize that wow, like actually life is quite interesting. Like the small little things like this can make them so happy. And looking back in my own life, like I keep wanting more, keep wanting to feel like, oh, I want more, to make me feel more fulfilled and happy. So it reminded me that it's the small little things in life that if you're present enough, I might be able to find that joy and that fulfillment. Yeah, so I took that along with me quite a bit. I still have quite a bit of photos with the kids. Yeah, the last day, no crying because I need a bit like dramatic. But I think if I were to revisit Cambodia again, I might just go back to see what I can, gain. Yeah, come on with it.
I think it's a good exposure that the school provided this opportunity. I think for myself, I also went YEP in Lombok, Indonesia. So likewise, I went there to build a library and I went to teach IT. And there was a day that, because they didn't have laptops, so we had to donate laptops. And I was in a classroom setting, so everyone sat down with the laptops in front of them and I had to went to retrieve something. So I told them, okay, you can start up first, go to PowerPoint for me to get started.
Yeah.
Okay, and 15 minutes when I come back, guess what they see?
Just a black screen?
Yeah, it's just a black screen because they don't even know how to on it. So I think a lot of all these experiences give us perspective on well, I think one thing is to be contented. And then what is the balance between being contented and how much do we strive for? Yeah, and over the past 5 years in this career, I'm sure you also have a lot of experiences finding this balance for yourself. Yeah, so why don't you share with us what got you inspired to join this career?
Wow, this goes all the way back 5 years ago. Inspired, I think very cliche, but most people say no one walks into this industry by themselves. I think so far after being here for 5 years, only that feel yeah. But I think I'm grateful that I chanced upon this career. But I think it took a while because if I were to look back, honestly, that timing was I think it was in poly, the year that I graduated.
Yep.
Honestly, my GPA not the best to go to a course that I wanted.
What do you want to go?
I wanted to go business.
Okay.
Yeah, because after pursuing accountancy since secondary school, actually, took POA, A Math, E Math all the way till I graduated from Mian Poly. I think when I graduated, when I went through experience in internship, actually, I realized that maybe accounting might not be for me. Yeah. So why is it so? I realized that I like the systems, like, I get to promote along the way, stable career and all, but there was just something missing. I couldn't pinpoint it. Yeah, so with that, plus I cannot get into business. I remember sitting down in my living room in Khatib, and I was just sitting down there. I think tears were rolling down. Yeah, so that period I was like, wow, very lost. Cannot get into business to explore what are options, but I didn't want to go into accounting because I knew it's not something for me anymore. Yeah, but at the moment I told myself, like, okay, there are a few options. I can go gap year.
Yep.
I can take a gap year. But deep down I know I didn't really know what I wanted for a gap year. And it might just end up being like, 1 year of like,
waste of time.
Yeah, like play and all, which nothing wrong, which I think sometimes, some people do take that 1 year break to really discover themselves. But I realized I didn't need that. So I decided, okay, Mian, why not? You just go to SIT accounting. Because it's really not a bad career, right? With this degree, I can explore quite a few options, right? So just continue. But I told myself in that 3 years of uni, I have to figure out what I want in a career. Yeah, so I explored, I, tried a lot of things. I wanted to start my own business.
What kind of businesses you wanted to start?
I'm not very creative to create a product and all. I don't have solutions, right? So I realized that there's no problem that I'm fixing, right? So there's no one particular business. Yeah, I wanted to go into coaching, but I realized, listen to this 21-year-old, okay, never mind, skip. Yeah, so I explored. I realized that, actually, then I think I met someone else in the industry, right? And that one conversation made me realize that no one wakes up one day wanting to be an advisor, right? So then why am I not considering it? Yeah, because since young, there's quite a few dream jobs, most individuals would want to have a dream job already since young. Females, don't quote me, but most want to be stewardess, right? Quite pretty or quite zai, right? So I thought about it, but I'm I just okay, wishful thinking, maybe. But yeah, so going back to that, I realized that I never really think about this career before. Why? Because no one in my life is an advisor. So that got me thinking, okay, if I do not know so much information about it, why not I just explore? Right? And then I explore, I realized that, wow, actually, it met quite a few things I wanted in a career. And with experiences back then to, turn down digital marketing, I tried digital marketing, it's not something for me. I wanted to start my own business, no idea. Okay, so my way of going about is to eliminate.
Yep.
And then in the end, I chanced upon FA. Though at the start, it was a bit of trying to figure out who I am as an individual, as an FA. But eventually I realized it works out. Yeah. So the year that I graduated, I think most of my friends were looking for a full-time job, right? Yeah, so I went on a grad trip, I went on grad trip with my friends, all of them looking for jobs. And at the moment, it's just like, hey, actually, I found the career that I wanted. Yeah, like, didn't have the itch, to want to find other jobs. So that's how I knew this is something for me. Yeah,
I guess you went through a whole process of like that top process you actually laid out for us. Like, what do you actually want and where can your degree take you and everything in between. I always tell people that joining this career is not easy. And as much as people outside see that, got time flexibility, can make a good income, I'm sure it comes with a multitude of challenges also. So what were some challenges that surfaced at the start when you joined this career, and how did you overcome them?
Okay, some challenges, maybe I will just list down. I think the main one that I can think of is, it might come off as a surprise, self-confidence. Yeah, because I think most people in my life tells me the first impression is always, oh, Simin is very confident. She carries herself very well and all. But when I first started this career, I think that was something that keep eating me up. Yeah. Why is that so? It's because it's so new, right? New in a way, like I didn't really have, like none of my family members are FAs. Close friends only just started becoming FAs, so there wasn't really a role model that I could look up to since young. Yeah, I had a family agent, but not very close.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think why self-confidence? Because I think the reason why I can carry myself this way is because of experiences in life. Yeah, but coming into something so new, no experiences, nothing like, not much to look like. What do you call it? Yeah,
It's a model after someone
correct.
Or something, right?
Yeah, so don't really have that yet because I never really explored yet, right? So it was like, I just keep trying to figure things out. But I'm grateful that along the way, of course, that there were like mentorships, and then, your friend and all were there since the start. Yeah, so that is what I'm grateful for. But I realized that I cannot just be like someone else. Yeah, so since young, I've always, been myself. But coming to this industry, I realized that, at the start, I keep trying to model after someone. Like, so-and-so did this and became successful. Okay, I try. Then halfway through, I'm like, that doesn't sound like me. That's not something that I would do. So that made me like beat myself up quite a bit. No doubt, maybe here and there got a bit of success and all. But I was just very confused. Like, this is not really me, but it brought me success. Okay, let's just wing it. Yeah, so I feel the confidence at one point was a bit of like to show that I got it, But deep down, I always question like, who is the real Sumit? Yeah, so only throughout the career, then I started to, I think I can't really pinpoint one scenario, but I just told myself, hey, enough is enough. Like, you are who you are as a person. You have to, I have to accept who I am and to work it through. Yeah, and I think it's still a journey. There will still be days that it might just come up. Yeah, but I think the recovery, is much faster. I would say so. Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for sharing and walking us through this process. I'm sure it's been a lot of ups and downs, especially emotionally. And for you to think like who you want to be, your identity. Sometimes in this career, we suffer from imposter syndrome. Like, we take on somebody else's role. Like, they share some ideas with us. Say, hey, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's apply it. Then after a while, you realize, but that's not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and oftentimes, some of these thoughts will come into our mind. And one of the books I read, they said this: the greats in the world, your Mark Zuckerberg, your Steve Jobs, they don't have someone to model after. Right? In fact, people model after them. So I always ask myself, then how can I create me and be who I really am, and I amplify that? So over the years, at the start, I try to model after somebody. After a while, I realized if I only model after someone, then I'll only be as good as that person. That is my cap and that's my limit. But if I can look beyond that and create a version that I'm proud to be, then how much more can I be?
Yeah, actually you brought up, it reminded me of something, which is, actually that was kind of the turning point where I realized that I cannot keep seeking to model after someone. Yeah, because there will not be someone that,
But if you don't have to.
yeah, so I started asking myself like, oh, who are the people, who are the, the female empowerment, the people that I can model after. Then just like, I felt very lost, like, hey, no one, sir. Yeah, and then I think it made me realize that, okay, like, I have to be the version of myself that I want to become. And eventually also allow other people to, inspire others.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was actually one of the turning points that made me gain a bit more confidence in the things that I say, the things that I do, and the way I carry out my business and life.
You know, Mian, as a student advisor, I'm sure you face a lot of challenges, and one of which is time management. And I understand SIT is also a trimester basis.
Yeah.
So how do you balance between work and school?
Okay, yeah. So going back to trimester, wow, that was 3 years ago. Time flies. Honestly, I realized that I just have to be 100% present as a student and 100% present as an FA. So what do I mean by that? Prior to this whole student with FA, I never really block out my time for the things that, basically I never block out my calendar. It's only exams. Yeah, only exams like, 21st September. Okay, then inside the calendar. Yeah, but other days are like empty. Yeah, so only key important dates. Yeah, so I realized that, okay, the timetable is given at the start. And most students, including myself, usually will just wait to the last minute. But since it's given at the start, I know when are the key dates that I have to look out for. Then just block out the time prior to that. Yeah, so back then as a student, I get to choose my own timetable. So I will in a way strategize it to be like in a way that, school is of a few days, like, 3 days or 4 days of the week, right? Then the other days will be for FA stuff, because at the end of the day, I realized that FA is a people's business. Yeah. So how I do anything is how I do everything, right? If in school, I'm a quote-unquote like shitty student, don't come for class, not responsible, that means like my friends' group projects, grades are important, but I just like, however, I'm an FA, then how would that reflect of me as a person? Yeah, so of course, I don't think I'm like as chiong as some of my friends, you know who you are, but I still do my best in whatever I can give. Yeah, so at the end of the day, my end goal is to graduate.
Yeah.
Right, because it's in a way a responsibility. I want to, show to my siblings and my parents, grateful for it, for this journey. But at the end of the day, I realized that if I already know what I want in a career, isn't it important for me to also focus on it? Yeah, because I told myself that 3 years I have to figure out what I want. But if I do not put in the work and the effort as an advisor, how will I get the results that I want? And then how will I make a decision? Yeah, so 80-20, right? I do what I need to do as a student, and the rest of the time is for advisory. Yeah, to learn, to meet people, to do whatever I need to do now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very common challenge that everyone will face, especially if they come from a student background. And I hear that you prioritize in a sense where you're 100% present at that moment in time. Because when I go out there and when I coach some student advisors in school, they'll be thinking about work. And when they're working, they'll be thinking about schoolwork.
Then tiring.
Or they'll be thinking about whatever that's happening at home. So then they are not present. And when they're not present, they can't give their best. Yeah, and that's good for you that you have found a way to overcome this by scheduling. Yeah, and for the men that have went to NS, I always tell my male associates, you can follow the RO, the routine order.
Okay.
Like 0500, they'll wake up. 0715, they'll do this and do that. They'll follow through really a schedule for the day, and that has helped me tremendously as well. Because over the past 5 years, I'm sure there are many client interactions that you have had. Would you say, why not share with us one of the most impactful encounters you have with a client?
This goes back to 2 years, I think 2 years ago. Yeah, so it was the first week of a client that I attended. Yeah, so why I brought this story up, because I think context is I've always wanted to be a dedicated family advisor, right? Because to me, family is very important. Right? If, let's say, today my friend trusts me as an advisor, I would love to take care of their loved ones and the people around them. And the first people I would think of is like their family, right? Or like their friends. Yeah, so down the road of being an advisor, I eventually became a dedicated family advisor for quite a few of my clients. Actually, I think about 60-70%. Yeah, so this particular family, I remember like this friend of mine I met through SIT became my client. Yeah. Then, I just went over to their house for a meal and all. Yeah. So it's very, very heartwarming because the parents cook for me and all. Yeah. So I remember it was end of the year, and I think, yeah, so when I left the house, the individual told me like, oh, I will cook for you like for Chinese New Year. Like come over to my house for Chinese New Year. I was like, oh my gosh, damn excited, I can't wait, Yeah, and the following year, I received a text randomly. I remember I was at River Valley. I think, yeah, the area. I was at a bus stop. I received this message from my client saying that her loved one has passed on.
Was it sudden? Or?
It was very sudden. Very sudden. Because I'm not going to go into too much details of the person's history, but I remember in that moment, I just sat down at the bus stop. I was just like, huh? Like, very random. Yeah, I remember texting my partner saying that, hey, my client passed on. Yeah, so in that moment, it made me realize that, wow, I cannot sit phantom with the thought that if, let's say, my fear of not reaching out to my friends or their loved ones, right, actually stopped me from knowing that I did my best as an advisor. Like, how would I sit with that thought? I cannot sit with it. So I'm very grateful that I actually managed to have that conversation, that financial planning conversation with the family, and realize that they had they did whatever they need to do. Yeah. So even with the sudden passing, it made me realize that, wow, like actually this career, if having such conversations actually could potentially change a person's life. Yeah. So, I mean, this person couldn't do more planning, right? But I told myself, like, actually, wow, I did my best, Like, I cannot imagine, like, if my fear of not reaching out to the parents and then, like, eventually this happened and then, like, realize that, oh, I could have done something. Yeah, but knowing that I did my best and, they had all the plans that they need, then it made me realize that this career actually quite impactful. Yeah. And this person did not even inform our clique or like our friend group that her loved one has passed on. And I received this text from her personally. So it made me realize that, wow, this brings my relationship with my friends and loved ones to another level. Because the kind of conversations that I have with them during the consult, right? The kind of things that they bring up about their loved ones, about their partners and all. It's like not something that I would have with like my friends. I mean, possible, right? There are some friends that quite woke nowadays, talk about a lot of like things. But there are just some things that only an advisor and a client relationship, those conversations comes up.
I agree.
Yeah. So that made me realize that, wow, this career can bring my relationship with my friends and family to a much closer level and deeper level, which is one of my like push factor, because I love to have such conversations.
I mean, as you say that, also it comes to my mind a lot of situations where I had to handle difficult conversations, difficult situations, and you're right to say that with a client and advisor relationship, usually there's a lot of transparency, and of course it's also on our owners and responsibility to protect that trust that they have with us. As much as, sometimes people say that, well, these people are just selling insurance and they're just out there to, close a case. I think in between all of these things, sometimes when things really hit the fence, your presence is really invaluable. That's how I feel at certain points in time. And of course, I will never hope for someone to go through that. Yeah, but thanks for sharing this story. I think it's really given me it helped me reminisce some of these times that I had also. And for yourself, what kind of legacy would you hope to leave in this career?
Legacy? Actually, honestly, I realize as an individual, I can only impact this number of lives, right? Hence, that's why one of my key motivations to, bring people into this career is also because they could potentially impact more lives, right? I think, in a way, I would love to allow the people that I've met, in the people that I've crossed paths in this journey, whether or not they become my client or not, they are in a better off position than before they met me. Yeah, whether is it financially, whether is it more information or like more knowledge in a way. Yeah, so that itself is the legacy that I want to impart. Yeah, so to impact a lot more lives, especially whether is it in Singapore or even globally. Yeah.
You know, last week I was just reading the news and they say that one of the top stressors in the world today, apart from work, is actually finances. Whether you are a social worker, whether you're an engineer, whether you are doing anything related or not related to finance, finance is there as every day of your life. Right? We handle with finances every single day. And there are some group of people that they may not be the best at it. And they run away from these problems and they just feel that by not looking at my bank account, then all will be good. By not looking at my credit card statement, then it's okay. Yeah, but I just want to reassure that if you can work with someone that you trust a lot, that will definitely help bring and elevate your financial positioning, right, over the years, of course. Yeah, Simi also understand that you are looking to build a team, and you have a team currently. So how would you describe your mentorship style to be like?
It's a very interesting journey. My mentorship style, honestly, is to bring out the best in that individual. Right. I think the role of a mentor is to, identify certain blind spots or identify certain strengths that one might not see in themselves. Yeah, I think throughout my journey of being a mentor, I hope that my mentees have actually, become a better version of themselves, which actually I've seen a lot of growth. From a quiet, shy person to like someone that, carry themselves very well. From someone that, not sure whether this career is something for them, to gaining that clarity for themselves. Yeah, so I think this question itself, I think it's to really bring out the best in a person. Yeah, because I think based on my personal experience, I would think I would like to provide that safe space and listening ear to the people around me.
Yep.
Which then I realize in this noisy world, sometimes it's that just that one person there that will be there for you no matter what. Yeah. So of course, as a leader or as a mentor, there might be some shortfalls or there might be things that I can improve on. But I also want to provide that safe space to actually talk about it, because I realize that it takes two ways, two hands to clap. Yeah, so I can want to provide all these, provide that safe space and listening ear. But sometimes if certain things are miscommunicated, that safe space should be there to, talk about it. Yeah. And of course, I think when you talk about this career-wise, it's to actually help my associates, build a sustainable career for themselves, right? At the end of the day, it takes two hands to clap again. But it's to highlight their strengths, highlight the things that, that they are good at, to bring them to another level, which I realize have kind of like worked for me. Yeah. So, and also to provide them with opportunities to link up with other people, because as a leader myself, I have my strengths, but I have my weaknesses as well. So it's to provide the avenue to, have that partnership with other people, other leaders. Yeah.
So what I hear from you is that you are creating access to people and also being a highlighter to highlight their strengths and help to bring the best out of them. So when it comes to running a team, I'm sure you have met people who are suitable and you have met people who are not suitable for this career. What would you say are some traits that may make a good financial advisor?
I think it boils down to the three. I think what comes up to the top of my mind is number one is really coachability. Yeah. So I heard this since the start of my career, that my coachability, like me as an individual, as an advisor itself, would determine the day that I stop learning is the day I stop growing. Yeah. So I think coachability is very, very important, because I've met people who come in thinking that they know everything. Certain things not aligned, and then realize that they're not very coachable. At the end of the day, we have to ask them to leave.
Yeah.
Right. And then also...
So, hang on. So on coachability, because it's intangible, like you can't measure like what is their coachability. So how do you tell? How can you tell?
I think they're hard to even learn. The way they ask questions, the way they present themselves actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think first impression actually quite important, but down the road, it reveals like Onion, they reveal a little bit more about themselves. So I think it's timing also. Yeah. Which is why meeting one time itself, very hard to determine whether the person is coachable. But hearing their experiences and, maybe hang out a few more times could actually showcase that point in them. So that's why I always tell the people around me who actually thought about this career or have interest or have calibers to actually become an advisor, I actually told them to, maybe explore a few sessions. Right? You also don't know whether you are coachable, right? So I think it's timing. Yeah, and then how they present themselves during these sessions that, to assess.
Yeah, so when it comes to the second factor or second criteria that an ideal candidate should have, what would that be?
Okay, this is very realistic. But at the end of the day, this is a people's business, right? So I think an ideal candidate would be someone that would actually love to connect with other people in a way that that matters to them. So what do I mean by that? Some of my associates love cafe hopping, right? So that is their passion. So the love to share this with the people around them, I feel it's important. Yeah, and also, for example, some of my associates love to, it's into fitness, right? So that love to want to connect with people through fitness is also important. So why I say that it's important is because at the end of the day, a sale or a deal can only come in if you have that conversation. But if I'm someone that don't like human beings, don't like talking to people, versus don't like talking to people versus I want to but I'm scared. It's very different. Yeah. So I've met people who no, I hate, interacting, most of the time they're not my friends because, I yeah, but I think the heart to want to connect with people, it's important. Which I realized that actually deep down I think everyone wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they are not sure how, then then I'll, guide them to find out along the way. Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you brought this up because there's something that goes around, which means people always feel that, I'm an introvert. And because of that, I cannot do well in a career that I need to meet people. So what are your thoughts on that?
I personally think this introvert-extrovert thing, I think I've come a long way of being a label. Yeah. So I personally think if, let's say, you think that you're an introvert, which I think most people actually deep down, there's a percentage of introvertness, right? But I realized that being an introvert makes the person a very good listener, which is a very, very important trait for an advisor, right? Are we talking more or the person in front of us is talking more, right? So I realized it's a very, very good trait to be a good listener, which actually some of my associates are introvert by nature. But because along the way they gain a bit more confidence, they gain a bit more, they know what they're interested in, then naturally the extrovert self comes about. So if, let's say today, if you are an introvert and you think, whether this career is something for you, I think it's important to ask if given a chance to, in your life, right, which area of your life you feel most extrovert about? Yeah, then maybe you can explore through that option and see whether there's a link to this career, because no one says an introvert cannot be successful. No one says an extrovert definitely successful.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I think everything goes back to communication. Whether you're introvert or extrovert, it still lies in communication, because I've seen extroverts out there that they just talk and yet not stop. And in a 1 hour conversation, they can be talking 15 minutes. I've met salespeople like that as well, and it really, really turns me off. Okay, enough about work. Mian, why not share with us also what do you do outside of work? Sometimes from the outside perspective, they always see us working hard. So what do you do at the free time?
If you follow me on IG, you'll see that I've been into fitness over the past few years. Yeah, definitely not the best physique now. You see, I like to cushion. We need to talk to Sean about it. Okay, anyway. But I think fitness is something that I personally seek quite a bit of. I spend most of my time outside of work with. Yeah, I think just a few days ago, I think I saw on Instagram about how, depending on the nature of your job, the hobby that you have is like the opposite. So that means like if your job is related to a lot of like numbers, crunching and all, right? Most of the time your hobby, you lean towards a bit more of like fitness.
Really?
Yeah, in a way. And jobs that, I mean, don't quote me lah, I saw that and I was like, hey, sounds realistic. Like jobs that naturally are a bit more like interacting with a lot of human beings, like maybe teachers, doctors and all. Most of the time, I mean, some of them are into fitness as well, but most of the time they are into like reading and all.
Like activities that don't need to deal with people.
Yeah, like, because we keep crunching, like, we do, like, numbers, we do, like, Excels and all. Then I just want to have a hobby that, okay, I don't even need to...
non-numbers.
Or like, having to read just for knowledge. Yeah. So I read because I want to gain knowledge. But my hobby is not reading.
Yeah. There's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference. So I like to work out. But I think it was also a discovery for myself. Yeah. I think... the day that I signed the gym membership was the day I told myself, enough is enough. Stop having to jail people to go to the gym. Stop having your friends to, go together. Right? Because it was quite an intimidating space. Yeah. So to me, it's like, well, every time I want to go, I'll be, hey, do you want to go? Then end up people like, flake and all. So I told myself, hey, enough is enough. Right? Actually, a lot of things in my life is like, enough is enough. Like, just go. What's the worst?
See for yourself.
Yeah, what's the worst outcome? And then through that journey, I truly enjoyed myself because I kept pushing limits. And the day that I managed to do a pull-up, I was like, oh damn, like it actually hard work does pay off. Yeah, because I remember training for pull-up during circuit breaker with a few of my friends at work. Yeah, it was very random. They already had a Telegram group chat. I think it was called pull-up or something like that. I was like, hey, like fun, like I never know whether I can, but quite cool.
Yeah.
So I joined, not knowing that, not knowing whether or not I can ever do a pull-up. But I kept showing up. I remember the pull-up bar under my block. Every single day I would just show up. With my resistance bands, keep showing up. And then one day I was like, I'm like 80-90% there. Okay, continue training. Then eventually it got easier and easier. But I realized the turning point is also having a coach. Yeah, I hired a PT and then it really shaped the way I see my relationship with food, my relationship with my body, my relationship with fitness. It changed a lot. Yeah, so I think it's a journey that I encourage people around to actually explore also. Yeah, I think I like to do that. But of course, I have my days of like, I don't really feel like working out, which is why I have options in my life, in my own personal life. So I have class pass, so I have like Pilates, yoga. I go for Pilates when I want to push, but at the same time, I don't want to plan my workout.
Okay.
Yeah, then I go for yoga if I really just need to quiet the mind, Zen mode. Yeah, even though actually yoga not easy sometimes, yeah. Like you have to hold the positions and all. But going to the class, coming out of the class, I always feel very like
you feel better.
Yeah, I feel better. Yeah, then I go for like HIIT workouts and all to like, wow, I need this pump, And then strength training is just to show up, like the non-negotiables in my life. Yeah. So all these are things that I personally enjoy. And then whenever I post, and then some girls or like some of my friends would actually comment and say that they are inspired, which I hope that just by me showing up for myself can actually inspire other people. Yeah. So I think back then was a bit of imposter, like, but I'm not very fit and all. But I realized not very fit doesn't mean cannot post, because it's still for myself. Yeah, it's a journey that I want to look back onto. And then when my friends are training for their pull-up, actually, I bought like resistance band for my friends before because I'm like, hey, go and train. Like, I can't wait for the day that you can do a pull-up for yourself also. Yeah.
I think as you say all these things, what came to my mind, a quote was, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
Back then, like you mentioned earlier on in school, you are also a good project mate because that will have a... That reflects your character. How you are as a student reflects your character possibly in your work as well. And how you are doing your hobby, like your fitness, also reflects who you are as a person at work. Yeah, so everything actually, one word to sum it up is, I think consistency is important across different areas of our life. You can't be a good student and be a very bad somebody else. But usually it's pretty consistent. If you're late, usually you're late across different roles also. Yeah, that is what I believe. Okay, so to wrap this up, maybe for someone out there who is thinking or hesitating whether they should explore this career, what would be one advice you have for them?
If there is a hesitation, I think I'll pause and ask myself, or sometimes even write it down, like, what is this hesitation? Is it because I'm fearful of what my friends and family will think of me? Is it because I'm afraid that once I meet that advisor, straight away they'll ask me to join? Is it because da-da-da-da? So I'll list down what am I actually hesitating about. And then see whether I can seek answers to these questions or hesitations that I have. Yeah, so I think it's to gain clarity and to actually acknowledge that I am interested, but da-da-da. Yeah, so honestly, it goes back to, what's the worst that can come out of this experience? Yeah, so as a student, I told myself, like, okay, if I were to join, I would, am I okay to approach my loved ones? If the answer is no, I will not join because it's not something that I want for the people around me. Yeah, but the answer was very clear because of the impact and all. But if back then, I think one thing that most people would be worried about is, if I were to join, I'll be responsible and I want to stay here forever. I think that's what most advisors want.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think it's also important to not put so much pressure and put so much stress on that, because if today I were to be an accountant, right? I were to, be working for a company, most people will just say like, I would want to stay as long as possible.
Yeah.
But if this company is not for me, I'll close that chapter 2 to 3 years in. Which actually most of my friends are doing that.
Yeah.
So just because I'm joining this career, why at the start I have to make this decision already that this is the career for me? Yeah. So but at the same time, there's also another point of view of, okay, then how do I answer my clients? Because someone is trusting their life, when they buy a plan with me for so long. So I told myself like, okay, it's important to understand what this career what this career requires of me. But at the same time, I think it's important to just be the best and to show up. But if eventually one day, if this chapter has to be closed, right, for whatever reasons, whether it's health, whether it's life and all, I think how we do anything is how we do everything. I think it's about us taking that ownership and responsibility to answer to the people around us as well. Yeah, so same thing for if today I'm an accountant, if I join a company, if I were to leave, I have to resign, 1 month of notice, right? So same thing with this career. If this along the way, this chapter is not for you, then it's okay to close. But which is why we do not want advisors to come in and then straight away take papers. Yeah, so we have this whole journey of exploration. If you are curious, you can just find out more first. But I think it's about, number one, just find out what you're hesitating about to gain clarity, right? And number two, don't put so much pressure and stress on making this career the one for you at the start. No one really knows at the start. Yeah, so I think it's still be curious, go and speak to an advisor that you personally know or trust or ask, right? And then just have that conversation and see what comes out of it. Then if, let's say, like going on a date, right? If this person gives you good vibes, okay, I don't mind second date. Okay, this person, okay, like peel a bit of onion, good vibes, okay, third date. Yeah, so if that conversation aligns with you, answers the questions that you have, then okay, go on the second date. Yeah, so it's about, just try. Try, go and have that conversation that, you never know what might come out of it. Yeah, which I encourage them to do so.
I think that's excellent advice because there's a difference between thinking and overthinking. I met candidates who thought about this career for years, but they're just thinking whether this is a good career for years and they are still in the same place that they are, and they are not very happy. So I think what Simi mentioned, to write it down, what are your fears, what is holding you back exactly, that will give you a written problem, right, that you could consult someone and gain more perspective. And we also like to say that, last time long service award are these 20 years in a company.
Yeah.
Today long service for 5 years. Yeah. I think what the clients are looking for is this word called accountability, which is what you mentioned, right? If this career is sustainable for us, of course that's great. It's a win-win for all. Yeah. However, one day, due to health, due to personal reasons, due to whatever, right, that we have to leave. I think the least that we can do is to be accountable. Okay, with that, Thank you for sharing with us your entire story, and hopefully the audience is inspired by you. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.